good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. I'm Rob Evans, and welcome to a Daybreak Plus. We're breaking down all the news you may have missed overnight and digging deep into what matters to you. We began with state lawmakers considering whether to abolish the Texas lottery. A Senate committee held a public hearing yesterday on Senate Bill 1988. Now, this would end the state lottery by January and would send any leftover money to schools. Now, the Texas Lottery Commission's director resigned suddenly last month after criticism over the lottery's operations and fairness. Sergio Ray is the new acting head of that agency, and he answered questions from lawmakers yesterday. Take a listen.
We are focused on ensuring that we follow the law, that we are in agreement with the law.
Okay.
So we are focused on integrity and honesty.
But the agency didn't follow the law.
Now, they are going to have to vote to advance this to the full Senate before that can be voted on as well. Now, an Austin real estate developer is facing lawsuits for allegedly not paying $2 million in delinquent property taxes. Yesterday, the Travis County tax assessor collector announced lawsuits against 8 businesses owned by that man right there, Nate Paul, after spending months trying to get in contact with them. Paul's business is also asked to pay $300,000 in legal fees. Well, in a few hours at 9 o'clock this morning, Austin City Limits Music Festival will announce this year's lineup. 3-day ticket sales kick off later today at noon. The first weekend of ACL is set for October 3rd through October 5th. Tickets for the entire weekend start at $360. But who's going to be there, right? That's the big question. Some people say Doechii, Lorde, Green Day, Lana Del Rey, all on this year's wish list, right? So with all the speculation and excitement on who could be headlining, we decided to ask ChatGPT, you know what I meant to say, for its prediction of the lineup. Here's what it gave us. Olivia Rodrigo, Green Day, Justin Timberlake, Rufus Du Sol, and Kesha. Okay, so that's not a bad one right there, but I went ahead and did my own. That was ChatGPT. I did a different one, my secret one right here. This gave me Megan Maroney, Kesha, John Mayer, Radiohead, My Chemical Romance, Stevie Nicks, which would be awesome, Doechii, Post Malone, Bad Bunny, Green Day, Olivia Rodrigo. So, we keep our fingers crossed, but again, we've got about a couple more hours to go until the actual announcement is made. A lot of people are going to be excited to get out there and experience something like a remnant of what happened last year. Incredible show last year. Well, get ready to see more kids in helmets pedaling their way to school tomorrow morning. It's National Bike and Roll to School Day. Now, the goal is to encourage kids and teens to be more active. Leaders with Austin and Georgetown ISD is going to be on the street early tomorrow morning to help build a sense of community and school spirit during the commute. And we're learning more about a lawsuit that Eanes ISD is facing after it ended a contract with the operator of the district's athletic and aquatic facilities. The lawsuit claims that investors agreed to build the Westlake Athletic and Community Center after the district failed to raise enough money for it. In exchange, the district had a nearly 40-year lease agreement that allowed students in the community to use the space for sports club practices, for camps, for recreation at no cost to the district. Now, the lawsuit alleges the district terminated that lease, though, without any public input or discussion. Dr. Jeff Arnett is the Eanes superintendent. He says they're already looking for partners to work with that will continue to let the district use the facilities at no cost.
So our priority is still to try to maintain those at a zero net cost to the school district and to try to have those operating costs absorbed either through another partnership if possible or through some other arrangement.
Now, at this point, Eanes ISD has not yet been served that lawsuit. Well, months after more than a dozen massage therapists accused Austin native and NFL kicker Justin Tucker of inappropriate sexual behavior, he's been released by the Baltimore Ravens. The kicker, again, the GM of the Ravens, says Monday's decision was actually related to football, did not cite the ongoing allegations. The NFL previously said it's investigating those allegations, though. The 35-year-old went to Westlake High School and the University of Texas. He has maintained he did not act inappropriately while receiving massages. It is now 7:06. Let's get a look at weather and traffic with Casey and Hannah. Casey, busy morning for you. What are we seeing out there right now?
Now we continue to track this severe thunderstorm that's working its way through Gillespie County and now is beginning to approach Blanco County. So it's severe warn now through 8 a.m. That time frame has been extended along with the areas. It's now beginning to make a little bit more of a turn to the east here. We've been tracking some heavy rain, but notice the threat here, the tag giving tornado possible. We have been monitoring some very broad, weak rotation, but it's one of the things that we'll be watching with this thunderstorm and the thunderstorms to come as we head into the remainder of this morning and even into this afternoon. And notice we continue to watch this spread some very heavy rain to the Fredericksburg area, Stonewall area, Johnson City now starting to see some rain. A lot of lightning with this, around 200 strikes just within the past 15 minutes where the center of the cell currently is. And again, that's just off to the south of Fredericksburg, where we likely have some of the worst of the weather. Some hail certainly possible in that general area and along portions of 290. You can see perhaps some pea-sized hail. We did have some radar indicating ping pong size hail is a bit farther south of us, but now we continue to track what may be a little bit of a weakening trend, at least momentarily. As far as rotation has gone, we've been tracking again broad rotation, weak rotation right now. If we were right now, this specific area of rotation within this thunderstorm is currently near Banksmith. We have not had any kind of tornado warnings issued on this just yet, but we will continue to monitor this in case it does happen to strengthen a little bit more. Now elsewhere, we have currently just some spotty showers across the area. A lot of us have just been dealing with a thick layer of some low clouds and fog to start the day, but I do anticipate things will start to pick up as we head into later this morning and into this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm watch until 10 a.m. for the I-35 corridor in the hill country. Our main threat's going to be hail, but we also could be looking at some damaging winds and again an isolated tornado not off the table with today's setup. Visibility is still very low in spots with the fog that has since developed through this morning. We still have limited visibility out towards the Pflugerville area. It's just under a half a mile out towards Austin Airport, under a half-mile visibility all the way up towards Georgetown. Really along the I-35 corridor is where we're seeing some of the densest of the fog, and this is what it looks like in most spots. For the areas not seeing thunderstorms, we're just looking at low clouds out across the area, so just kind of a gloomy start to the day. Light rain to start. I do anticipate as we start to see this system that we've been tracking through the week begin to work its way eastward, we'll start to see some stronger storms fill in across the area. Of course, we already have that one that's currently working its way through Gillespie County. I think as we get closer to around the 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock time frame, we could be looking at these stronger storms rolling across the area. Now, the question is, because we've got these low clouds in the fog, we might be looking at some help with that as far as limiting the instability needed for some stronger storms. So that's going to be one of the factors as we head into the remainder of this morning. And we'll continue to watch the potential of these stronger storms through the greater portion of this morning. I think a lot of this will be lifting out as we get closer to the lunchtime hour, but we still have the potential, if we see the return of sunshine, of maybe seeing some additional showers and storms even into this afternoon. So it's one of the kind of wild cards and factors we'll be watching as we head into later today. As far as those severe weather threats go, damaging winds, again, large hail likely going to be our primary threat. Nearly all of us under that hatched region, 15% chance for some hail. Those black lines indicating a little bit of a higher chance of seeing some very large hail that'll be 2-inch in diameter or greater. Tornado threat today, highest across our northeastern counties where that hatched area is. That includes areas like Milam County, North Bastrop County, up towards areas like Lee County, eastern portions of Williamson County. That's where we'll have the better ingredients overall of some stronger rotation. So we'll have to watch out for that as we head into the remainder of today. Now, after today, and I think a good majority of us, even by late this afternoon, we'll start to see things dry out. We'll continue with what's likely going to be another morning featuring drizzle and fog for your Wednesday. More rounds of showers and storms for tomorrow, but they're going to be a little bit less widespread. Our severe weather threat will come down beginning tomorrow, and then by Thursday, Friday, and the weekend, we're into a drying trend. We're back with a nice quiet weather pattern. Temperatures are going to be around average for this time of year for the weekend, with even some cooler mornings back down to the 50s for Mother's Day.
You having fun yet with our Central Texas weather roller coaster that we have? It's like just in the blink of an eye, it all went away. But not right now. For a lot of us, look at how thick this fog is and that low visibility. And of course, our good friends in the hill country, you guys are waking up to all kinds of rumbles. We'll take a look at the roads there. Right now, South Austin seeing our typical slowdowns in the northbound lanes. And then out at Mopac, that crash just south of Camp Mabry cleared up. So good to see that. We've got some movement going on. So we've still got 3 different crashes that are cooking right now across the area. area. So let's take a look. We were also having quite a bit of car trouble out at Del Valley, seeing slowdowns approaching the airport. That's looking better, but now out near Del Valley School, seeing some stop and go still in the westbound lanes on 71 on Bastrop Highway. Let's take a look across the rest of the area. Also still seeing our patches of stop and go starting at Kyle Parkway. Business as usual, moving through Bluff Springs, all in those northbound lanes. And then taking a look, we still have a crash working out near Anderson Mill, just south of Lakeline Mall on Pecan Creek Parkway at Anderson Mill Road. Minor slowdowns heading southbound towards Jollyville on 183, but not too bad there. And then we do still have an active crash working right now. That little trouble spot, there's just always something going on these days there, and that is at Palmer Lane at Yeager Lane, not too far from that little Samsung factory in that Dessau area. I saw a crash out near Hudson Bend. Looks like that's cleared up, so good to see. I know that area has got to be hard to be moving through right now, and it's dark and wet and foggy, even on a good day out there near Lake Travis. So taking a look, we do still see our stop and go coming in from Round Rock, and then let's take a look out towards the hill country. We're still dealing with some of that low visibility through Fredericksburg as well. But really, we're just going to take it one bit at a time as these storms are moving in, as we're getting all these kids dropped off and getting everyone into work today. So keep it here. And then, of course, we'll be live on air again at 7:23. And I'll send it back to Rob right now on KV+.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. Turning now to Vatican City, where the process to elect a new pope is about to begin. 133 cardinals from around the world have arrived, and they plan to meet tomorrow in conclave. ABC's Ines de la Cutara has the latest.
At the Vatican, the final preparations now being completed for the conclave before it begins this Wednesday. Workers installing red curtains on the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica, where the new pope will appear once he is elected. From Tuesday, cardinals will begin moving into the Vatican's Casa Santa Marta, where they will live in isolation once the conclave begins. Around 80 staff who will also be locked in with them, swearing an oath pledging total secrecy. The Vatican also planning to jam signals and disable some cell towers around Vatican City. For the 133 cardinal electors, the central question will be how close to Pope Francis the next pontiff should be. We sat down with Swedish Cardinal Arborelius.
I wouldn't be surprised if it would be an African or Asian cardinal, because somehow that's where the church is more alive, more dynamic.
The contest viewed as wide open. Some also pushing for the conservative Hungarian Cardinal Erdo. A first African pope, Cardinal Turkan of Ghana, also seen as a possible. Cardinal Pizzaballa, the Patriarch of Jerusalem, also a contender. Whatever the outcome, Canadian Cardinal Cherney is urging the faithful not to worry.
I know there's reasons maybe to feel a bit anxious, but there's no reason for anxiety. Pray and be hopeful, and when we discover who is the new Holy Father, let's all rally to help him.
Tomorrow, the conclave will begin with a public mass and a procession of cardinals entering the Sistine Chapel before they're locked away to elect a new pope. Ines de la Cutara, ABC News, Rome.
Well, 7:14 right now, and it was a perfect mix of glamour and high fashion. The blue carpet was a place to be last night in New York City. ABC's Danny New takes us inside fashion's biggest night, the Met Gala.
Ain't no mountain high. The Super Bowl of fashion kicked off Monday night in the Big Apple, as some of the biggest names in showbiz and sports graced the blue carpet for the 2025 Met Gala. With tables for 10 costing $350,000 and individual tickets priced at $75,000. The Metropolitan Museum of Art's annual fundraiser raised $31 million, the most in its 77-year history. But this year's theme goes back even further in history, as it centers on dandyism. Dating back to the time of slavery, dandyism focuses on fine-tailored looks for black men. This celebration of diversity, of course, comes in contrast with the actions of the current administration in the White House as it looks to end DEI initiatives.
Being a dandy is basically doing your own thing.
I spoke with fashion and style expert Stephanie Green to break down the explorations of this year's theme. Let's start with some of the event co-chairs. 13-time Grammy winner Pharrell Williams dandified with a double-breasted blazer featuring 100,000 pearls. Race car driver Lewis Hamilton went full ivory, and Oscar-nominated actor Coleman Domingo donned multiple looks, including one with a blue cape and another with a handful of different black and white patterns.
The window pane suit designed by Valentino was absolutely amazing.
Perhaps the event's most anticipated annual arrival, Rihanna, did not come alone. While following the night's theme with a cropped Marc Jacobs jacket, the singer and billionaire makeup mogul displayed a baby bump for her third pregnancy with A$AP Rocky, who was also a co-chair for the evening. Monday was the first time folks learned of this news.
LeBron James was actually an honorary chair as well, but said he could not attend because of a knee injury sustained during the NBA season. His wife, though, Savannah, she was there, as well as his best bud and former teammate, Dwayne Wade. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
A lot of interesting looks there. Well, from rising prices to job uncertainty to unexpected medical bills, financial curveballs come our way at any time, and they come often, right? Consumer Report shows us how to build an emergency fund to cover those costs.
You probably have Band-Aids in your medicine cabinet and jumper cables in your car, but do you have a financial emergency kit?
More and more Americans are struggling to cover the basics, like rent, groceries, even gas.
Even with unemployment low right now, Bankrate's annual emergency savings report found 59% of Americans said they couldn't afford to cover an unexpected $1,000 emergency expense. And it's no surprise, inflation, high interest rates, and unstable income are some of the biggest reasons people say they can't save or don't even try.
Sit down and take a close look at your monthly expenses and look for easy things to cut, like internet subscriptions that you no longer use, or cable or phone services that you don't need.
When you're ready to take the first step, Consumer Reports tips can help you start and stick with an emergency savings fund. First, figure out how much you need to cover 3 to 6 months of essential expenses, things like housing, utilities, food, transportation, and debt repayments. Next, open a separate savings account just for your emergency fund, so you're not tempted to dip into it for everyday spending.
You can keep it in a savings account, but your best bet is to put the emergency fund into an account that earns a high interest rate or a no-penalty CD.
And make saving even easier by setting automatic deposits or transfers from your checking account to your emergency fund. It will keep your contributions on track and secure until you need them. Jenny Lee, KVUE News.
We're going to send you right down to our meteorologist, Casey Sherman. There is a tornado warning in the area. Casey.
Smith area and Stonewall. We've been tracking this moving off to the north and east. If we put a quick tracker on it, I want to time out exactly where this tornado warned storm is heading. This is heading towards the Luckenbach School. That'll be closer to around 7:18 this morning. Stonewall again approaching there closer to 7:27. So we're talking about within the next about 10 minutes. Areas like High at 7:33 this morning and 7:35 Pleasant Hill School. Again, this is a radar indicated tornado, tornado warned storm. So we continue to track this area of rotation that has been working its way into southern Gillespie County. Here is Fredericksburg for reference here. 290 currently here. If we were to see this area of rotation drop a tornado, it would be crossing the 290 corridor as we head into about the next 5 to 10 minutes. Again, from this particular storm that we have been kind of tracking the rotation throughout this morning. It's been fairly weak, fairly broad, but the National Weather Service has now found evidence enough of at least a tight enough rotation to issue this tornado warning that will continue through 8 a.m. So time right now is 7:18. This continues to 8 a.m. for Gillespie County, Blanco County. The reason why we are currently cutting into regular programming is because we do have this tornado warned storm that will have the capability of producing a tornado. Fredericksburg and just off to the east of that is where we continue to track it. As we take another look, I want to take a look at that rotation again. It has been kind of tightening up from the National Weather Service. They have been watching it through this morning, which is why they have issued this tornado warning. If we want to check in on the debris signatures, see if we have any kind of debris signature, notice nothing. So this is just a radar indicated tornado where we have that rotation, nothing that would indicate that we have anything on the ground just yet. but we do need to treat it like it is a tornado, or rather what could be a tornado on the ground, or a thunderstorm that could be producing a tornado in this warned area. So again, everyone in this red polygon here, this includes portions of eastern Gillespie County into western Blanco County. This is where you need to be in your safe spot. If you're currently in the Stonewall area, you need to be getting into an interior room with no windows right now, as this is heading in your direction. All this, again, the rotation part of it is going to be right around here. This is lifting off to the east northeast, so Stonewall, it's heading in your direction. Areas close to 290, if you're along this corridor, you need to be getting into that interior and also bottom level room without any windows. Not a bad idea to have a helmet. That's always recommended, although it seems silly. If we do happen to have a tornado actually on the ground from this particular thunderstorm, that is always a good idea as this continues its track off to the east northeast. So I want to dive in a little bit closer just to see exactly where and kind of take you street level of where we could see it. Already kind of looking at this, again, it's not a very strong signal, but we do have enough of a rotation signal for them to issue this tornado warning. There is Kane City, there is Stonewall. If we take a tracker on this, it is currently moving around 40 miles per hour. So I want to redraw a tracker on this to show you where it should be headed across the area. Again, this is for eastern Gillespie County. It's heading into Blanco County. This is where the rotation is. And if we put a tracker on this, we're going to be, I want to circle this area of rotation. This is where the stronger part of the storm is going to be. It's in red, so it's a little bit hard to see. But that's where, if we were to see this thunderstorm produce a tornado, this is where to be, where we get the Christmas colors coming together, the reds and also the greens. This is pushing to the east-northeast here at around 40 miles per hour. So again, Stonewall, you could be in the path of this. You need to be in that safe spot right now. Out towards, if we kind of draw this out here, Stonewall 729. So we're talking about within about the next 8 minutes, this very strong part of the storm that could be dropping a tornado will be moving over your area. LBJ Ranch 732 this morning. Areas like High at 7:36 a.m. as it continues its track into Blanco County, and then we're looking at eventually Pleasant Hill School possibly by 7:38 this morning. I'm going to show you the warned area yet again. This does continue through 8 a.m. So if we continue to track this, kind of keeping this tight area rotation, the National Weather Service will continue this tornado warning across the area until we actually see it perhaps weaken. So again, I want to show you the polygon exactly of where it is. There is our tornado warning. I'll turn off even the radar for you to kind of give you a closer look of exactly where that warned area is. It's for all these areas in red. If you're within this area, you need to be getting into that safe spot. Stonewall along 290, just off to the east of Fredericksburg, and even Johnson City. Johnson City, you've been fairly quiet just looking at some rain, but this is heading in that particular direction.
Centered near Luckenbach is what they're watching.
Okay, so thank you, Grace. So rotation, the National Weather Service is now indicating that rotation has weakened slightly, which we do see. It's looking a little bit more muddled. It's centered near Luckenbach right now. So again, you can kind of see how the rotation isn't looking so tight. So it has been weakening, which is a good sign, but we can see things kind of cycle in, cycle out a little bit. Luckenbach, I should say. My director just corrected me. Thank you for that. Where you can see the rotation cycle up, cycle down. That's just kind of the nature of some of these thunderstorms when it comes to strengthening and weakening. But for right now, National Weather Service says rotation has weakened slightly. Centered near Luckenbach at the moment is where we're currently looking at where, if this were to be producing a tornado on the ground, this is where it currently would be, in this area where you see the reds and the greens. Stonewall, again, you need to be in that safe spot as this is going to be crossing likely the 290 corridor here within about the next 10 minutes as it continues this track to the north and also east. So rotation weakening, let's go ahead and take a look at the hail tracker, because that's going to be a threat with these thunderstorms. It does look like not only do we have that potential rotation, but also we do have certainly at least some hail, pea-size hail up to quarter-size hail with this right now. I will say the hail core was looking a little bit more impressive just about an hour and a half ago, but still certainly could be looking at some hail out across that area, Stonewall to near the Kane City area from this storm. We will continue to track that potential for hail, by the way, with all these storms that develop for the remainder of today. Debris, this is something that we track to see if it indicates anything potentially on the ground. I'm not seeing anything that would be indicative of having any kind of tornado on the ground. We do have a little bit of lowering here, but that's likely actually just from some potential hail. And again, this kind of checks out with the fact that we have seen the rotation signature kind of weaken across the area. So if you're just now tuning in, we're cutting into regular programming because we do have a tornado warned storm. This is across eastern portions of Gillespie County, western portions of Blanco County. This is where the red polygon currently is until 8 a.m. The strongest part of the storm currently just to the north of 290. It's near the Lukenbach area, just approaching LBJ Ranch at the moment. You can see where this notch is. That's where if we were to see again, a tornado actually pushed towards the ground from this rotation, this is where it would be. We don't have any signs that it is on the ground just yet. This is just a radar indicated tornado warning that the National Weather Service has prompted because we have seen a radar signature that would warrant a tornado warning across the area. I'm checking the National Weather Service chat and they haven't given me any other updates other than the fact that the rotation has weakened slightly. I'm going to take a look again into some of that rotation across the area. Again, it has been weakening a little bit, but we have been tracking certainly some hail with this, and things can always cycle back up and cycle back down as far as the lifetime of a thunderstorm goes. This is what we saw, in fact, what we had last week with those tornado warned storms up through areas like Burnet County. I will say right now as I take a closer look in, again, still looking at some signs of rotation. So that's something that we're going to be watching here in the potential and in the case if it were to end up tightening into something a little bit with a tighter rotation. And if you could repeat that in my ear to my director. Okay, we're going to take a live look now. This is out across some of the roadways there in Gillespie County right now. As you can see, the heavy rain coming down at the moment. Do we know where in Gillespie County exactly? No, we don't know where, but it's got to be at least in that eastern part of Gillespie County, southeastern. This is where all that heavy rain is right now. So imagine it's somewhere in that direction, just off to the east of Fredericksburg and near the Stonewall areas where we're really starting to see some of that heavy rain come through. And again, some hail will also be a possibility with these thunderstorms that we see for today. So tornado warned storm, 8 a.m. This is for Gillespie into Blanco County. As far as the motion goes, this is now heading towards Stonewall. So you need to be in your safe spot right now for the potential of a tornado. This thunderstorm, it has had a signature of rotation. So it has the potential of dropping a tornado. We have this now extending also that tornado warning into Blanco County. So Johnson City, while you've been pretty quiet, you had some rain earlier on, you also need to be getting into your safe spot. I do want to put in a new timer on this to show you when it could potentially be reaching those areas. So as far as the area of concern goes for rotation, it would be in this kind of notched area here. So I want to kind of time out at least the strongest part of the thunderstorm when that could be approaching areas like High, Johnson City. This is moving east-northeast at the moment. Let's put on tracker with this.
National Weather Service is highlighting 290, US 290, and LBJ State Park for that rotation.
Okay, thank you, Grace. Meteorologist Grace Thornton said that the National Weather Service is highlighting US 290 near LBJ State Park for rotation. That's where it will be, or potential. That's where the rotation signature, I should say, is approaching. So that's going to be right around here. We've been kind of looking at that area on the map. Again, so there's 290 right here. This would be around where the area of rotation is that could be capable of producing that tornado. 290 again, there's Stonewall. And again, it's near the LBJ State Park is where our main area of concern is at the moment for a potential tornado. Nothing confirmed on the ground yet. This is just a radar confirmed tornado. And again, this warning will extend through 8 a.m. Let's go ahead and take a look at the debris tracker again, just to make sure if there's nothing that would indicate that we've had anything drop on the ground. And I would say we really haven't seen any kind of signature that would indicate that. I do think some hail, this thunderstorm, again, it's rotating. So we're going to be watching it until we start to see that rotation fall apart enough to make sure that it that a tornado warning would drop off. The National Weather Service will be likely dropping that off at least once there are signs that this rotation has weakened enough. So again, areas along 290, this is going to be for LBJ State Park, is where we're tracking what could possibly be a thunderstorm capable of producing a possible tornado across the area. Taking a look at the radar, this is called the reflectivity product, so it shows where the rain is. Where you see this notch is likely where we could see, again, that's where that rotation signature is, and that's where we could potentially see a tornado be produced if it were to occur. So this continues to move eastward. I do want to put a timer on this to show you that it is going to be pushing closer to the, again, Blanco County, western Blanco County. You're also under this tornado warning. Okay, I will be tossing, now I'm going to toss over to the road cam that we currently have, Malia, in Gillespie County.
Yeah, guys, it has really just picked up out here. The rain has slowed down a little bit now that we're driving east on 290, but it was downpouring and the sides of the roads were absolutely covered with water around here. We're seeing a lot of these dark storm clouds. We're trying to see where this tornado could be forming around here, where it's going on. We're trying to figure out, but it's definitely, I see some lightning as we're going now too. So it is definitely really picked up in the last, I'd say 10, 20 minutes out here. So just want to be really careful, but this is a live look on the road. We're going, again, east on 290. Rain slowing down a little bit heading this direction, but it was stronger just a few minutes ago. I'll send it back to y'all.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, certainly the heavy rain, it's going to be a big time threat with this thunderstorm. Even if it's not producing a tornado, we've got some very heavy rain, the potential to see some hail, along with some of those gusty to damaging winds, which is why today we are under that weather impact alert for a reason. We will have additional rounds of more severe thunderstorms likely on the way, and we still have that potential for rotating thunderstorms. It's going to be a possibility today. Let me go ahead and continue to draw this cone on here as we time things out with what could be this area of the thunderstorm that will be capable of, that could be capable of producing a tornado. Again, that's where we look for that rotation signature. So areas like high, we're talking about 741. So that's coming up here within likely the next 10 to 15 minutes. Pleasant School as it begins to push into Blanco County. That's going to be closer to 744 this morning. So those are the areas that you are under. That's the tornado warning right now. You need to be getting into an interior room, no windows. If you have a lower level of your house, that is ideal. And not a bad idea to have things like helmets, mattresses even. A great room to get into is actually the bathroom because the plumbing provides additional support and structure. But again, right now, this is just a radar indicated tornado. We have not had any evidence that it has actually touched the ground for right now, but we are going to stay on air for the time being until this tornado warning expires, which right now it is scheduled for 8 a.m. So let's go ahead and take you back to exactly where this tornado warning storm is. It was under a severe thunderstorm warning earlier. That's why you currently see the yellow boxes kind of overlapping with the red box. But the area that has had the signature of rotation is what has prompted the tornado warning. So you can see that severe thunderstorm warning tag. This is the tornado warning that's in red, showing up for Blanco in eastern Gillespie County. This is through 8 a.m. this morning. It's a quick moving storm right now. Let's go ahead and take kind of a closer look in. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here and go back to exactly where kind of the area of concern for where a potential tornado could be. Again, it's going to be within this particular area, now just north of Stonewall. Stonewall, you're probably hearing all the thunder, seeing the lightning. We've got a lot of lightning with these storms. That's been the case even out towards our friends out west in San Angelo. These storms have been producing quite a bit of lightning really all morning long that we've been tracking, and have finally started to see a few of these kind of work their way into our area, which was anticipated with today's today's setup. So where you see that kind of notch here, that's where we could potentially be looking at some kind of, that's where we are looking at the rotation again, potentially could be looking at a tornado. So Stonewall just now to the north, I would say of about 290, near 290 is our biggest area for concern right now. Let's go ahead and you said some pictures, correct? Oh, here we go. This is another shot in Gillespie County right now with more, it looks like a lot of rain out there, right? Okay, so you're just seeing a live feed of what's going on. These are the roads of Gillespie County near Stonewall, I believe. It just started raining a lot. I'm getting reports of over there near the Stonewall area. And Stonewall area is actually, that's exactly where we're currently tracking that area of rotation. This is Stonewall. Here it is. So this is where we would, if we were to see a tornado be produced from this thunderstorm, this is the area that it's currently in. It's currently tracking the 290 corridor at the moment. It's moving off to the northeast high. This is heading in your direction as it continues that northeasterly track. So Stonewall, you certainly need to be in that safe spot. Not a good idea to be out on the roadways. It looks like from this live feed here, there are a couple of cars out there. It's really tough driving with the heavy rain along with the hail. And then heading into high, this is going to be working its way into that area here very soon. So again, if we put another cone on this, another timer just to time it out. Fredericksburg, by the way, you're in the clear with this. Those areas that are to the east of Stonewall, Kane City, you're now in the clear from this tornado warning as this continues to now move off to the east. High now starting to see what is likely some pretty gusty winds out of this. Putting on the tracker, this is going to be moving pretty close to the 290 corridor, I would expect here as we take you into about the next 10 to 20 minutes or so. High, again, you're timing in about the next 5 minutes, so you need to be in that interior room without windows as this area of rotation will be passing very, very close to you. And again, it does have the potential to produce a tornado. Pleasant Hill School, that'll be closer to 741 this morning. As we take a look again at our debris tracker, again, I don't see a lot of evidence, any kind of evidence that we have anything touching the ground, so that's certainly some good news, but we just need to treat it as such. It is a radar indicated tornado warning. We could see this drop a tornado really at any point, and we will continue to track more rotating thunderstorms likely as we head through the remainder of this afternoon with this kind of setup. Closer look in again, we're going to go out to our live camera. We're now going to be hearing from Malia. Thank you.
Yeah, guys, it's really, really downpouring. We're getting closer. We're driving right almost into that Stonewall area, about to get to that main area of this, and you can just see, I'm sure you can see how fast the windshield wipers are going right now. It is really coming down. Lots, like I said, lots of water on the side of the roads, like we're seeing in very, very dark skies out here. Obviously, the sun was starting to come up, but now it just looks very dark and cloudy in this area. It is just very... There's a lot of water on the road, so you just want to be very careful if you're in this area. I would definitely not be out on these roads right now. So just stay safe out there. We're going to keep showing you. Oh, you can even see the water on the side of the road. We were also seeing some lightning and hearing some thunder earlier. I haven't heard thunder in a while, but still we were seeing a few little lightning bolts. So yeah, just super cloudy, looks foggy, everything out here, but I'll send it back to y'all for the time being.
Yeah, thank you for that live update. I mean, it just looks really dark out there. A lot of rain, probably some pretty gusty winds too, as we continue to watch this tornado-warned storm that's currently pushing through eastern Gillespie County and western Blanco County. A close look into kind of where the worst part of the thunderstorm is. Again, the area that we are tracking the rotation that has warranted this this tornado warning is currently out near the Stonewall area, just now moving to the north and along 290 is where we currently find the worst of the storm. It's getting very close to the Gillespie and Blanco County border here. Here's high for reference. There is the border, and this is the area of rotation that we're currently keeping a close eye on for the potential of producing a tornado. Again, it's moving off to the north and east, so areas in western Blanco County, hopefully you received some kind of alert with this tornado warning. You need to be getting into an interior room with this. I will say this latest scan that just came in, it does look like we perhaps spots have had a little bit of an uptick as far as the strength of the rotation goes. You can kind of start to see some of these pink shadings here, some orange shadings here, indicating some of those stronger winds, along with some of the deeper red shadings here. So this is something that we're going to continue to keep an eye on as it moves off to the northeast. Remember this tornado warning, if you're just now tuning in, it continues through 8 a.m. this morning. So we still have about 21 minutes left of this to go as this radar indicated tornado warning continues on in those spots. Let's go ahead and put another timer on this as it continues that track off to the north and east. So this is again where I'm going to go ahead and circle this area where we're kind of watching it. This is the rotation that we're tracking. Here's the couplet where we see the greens and the pinks together. Whoops. That's going to be the area that we're watching for possibly producing a tornado. Again, I think with the latest radar scan, it does look like we've seen a little bit of strengthening there with this particular cell. So we continue to have to monitor it at the moment. Drawing a cone on this, if it times it out here, it looks like it's not quite working, but it does look like it's going to be passing very close to high. You need to be into that safe spot. This is another live look out across Gillespie County right now where the rain is coming down. A lot of Gillespie County, though, it's starting to see, a lot of it's now in the clear as this is beginning to push into Blanco County at the moment. Now, I'm going to toss it over to meteorologist Grace Thornton, and she's going to talk more about the exact track of where this is headed.
All right, thank you very much, Casey. I actually have an update from a viewer out in Cypress Mill. He just recently emailed us here at the station saying current visibility is zilch out there. Again, this is Cypress Mill that is just to the east and southeast, rather, of Round Mountain. So that's kind of in that east area of Johnson City as well. So we'll kind of get a look over at the radar of exactly where that is. Moving over, just to the left of Johnson City there. So, like I said, current visibility very, very low over towards those areas. Of course, we're still tracking our main tornado warning, which is going to be from the areas of Stonewall, even westward towards 290 there, and then goes all the way out to the Johnson City area. Again, we're mainly tracking this area of rotation kind of to the north of 290 there, where we are seeing potential for what we call a velocity couplet. So we're seeing these very bright areas of red on one side and some green areas on the other side. When those come together, that is what tells us that there is rotation out there. Currently, we're not seeing too much in the way of debris flying around, which is good news. So it hasn't been confirmed that there is a tornado on the ground, but of course we need to be in our safe spaces in the lowest, most interior room of your house. Again, if you're anywhere from Stonewall over to the Johnson City area, again, this is moving just to the north of 290 there, and now heading over towards the 281 area to the north of Johnson City. Areas in Sandy, you guys will be up next for this, so start getting into your safe spaces if you're not in there already. Again, we like to stress things. If you got a helmet around, put a blanket over your head. Again, you want as many walls between you and the storm as possible. This is going to continue until 8 a.m. They continued, or they clipped off portions of this polygon over towards the Fredericksburg area and the Bankersmith area. So those areas are in the clear for now. It's this main red polygon that you can see that extends all the way to Johnson City. A little bit hard to see it with our velocity on there, but if we turn over to the radar, you can really see exactly where that inflow of our dry air is coming in. And I can kind of map this out on the map for you guys. Again, just to the kind of south and west of Sandy there, we have that dry air coming in and this starting to wrap around, and this is exactly that area where we're starting to see those winds kind of chase each other around. Again, this is not a confirmed tornado. We don't have any confirmed sightings on the ground right now, but again, we are seeing the potential for rotation and some rotation. It's weakened some and then kind of gotten stronger over the past couple of 30 minutes or so now. But we're starting to see, some better conditions. Of course, we'll get some more updates from the National Weather Service. We'll see if we do have any At this moment, it looks like we don't have too much going on. There may be one rotation becoming more broad now near Gillespie and Blanco line. That is going to be north of LBJ State Park. We are keeping the tornado warning going. So that was updated at about 7:40, so just a few moments ago. So we're going to keep an eye on this for you guys. Again, this is going to be to the north of High, just kind of scooting along those northern boundaries of 290 there. Again, LBJ Ranch, you guys are within this polygon high. You all are also within this polygon. Johnson City also. And as I kind of zoom back out, it does look like they've dropped this warning just for a moment there, but probably will come back up as they kind of reissue their new one here. Okay, so it's back up here. Again, this is going to continue as we head into the rest of the morning here. So 7:44 right now. This continues until 8 a.m. And again, they just told us that they're going to keep this warning going until that time. It doesn't look like they've extended it at all or shortened it back at all. So again, this is going to be just to the north of the 290 area, along 290. Again, if you are around 290, if you take that way to work or school, again, you want to be staying in your safe spaces right now. You do not want to be leaving your house or getting on the roadways at all. We've had multiple reports from our, truck that's out there, as well as other viewers saying that visibility is very, very low in those places. So even if you think you're not seeing much in your area, it's right around the corner, and you just kind of never know in these regions. So again, up towards the Sandy region, you're starting to see some of that rain come down, and it may not even feel very heavy, but will become very heavy as we kind of shift into the next couple of minutes here. Let's actually get a look at our hail tracker really quick. That was something, is something that we have to keep a track on here for these storms moving through the area. So if we'll switch that to now and get a look at some of this blue in there. So that is golf ball potentially sized hail. This is radar estimated, so we don't have any legitimate looks from the ground at that, but our hail size potentially up to golf ball size. This is what the National Weather Service actually told us, a while ago when they issued the potential for significant hail within these storms moving through our area today. Again, we have a live look. I believe this is from Blanco. Okay, they are in high right now. You can see those low-level clouds moving right over the US 290. This is the road that they're on right now. So moving towards high right now. And again, you can see that there are low-level clouds all around. It's dry looking right now, but there is heavy, heavy rainfall just all the way around them. And so they need to be careful because things are kind of right to the north of that area. Malia, do you have any new updates out there?
Less rain that we're seeing. It's just very dark and cloudy out here. It still just looks like almost like nighttime, how dark. I don't know how the camera is portraying it, but it does look very, very dark. A lot of these dark clouds, we are seeing them moving around a little bit. No signs of any tornado at the moment that we can currently see, but definitely just very cloudy, wet roads, very just gloomy skies out here. That's what we're looking at, and we're heading, like you said, towards high Texas right now.
Okay, so I do have high Texas here on the map. So the main storm is actually just to the north of you guys, but you guys are within that tornado warning. So please be careful out there. Again, high is right down here. You can see it right next to 290. Then the main area of that storm is just to the north there, kind of shifting up towards the Sandy region. And then Johnson City, you guys are also included in this. This warning goes all the way out to 281 there. So please be careful. And again, we are potentially seeing upwards of, what did we say? Golf ball size hail, was it? And that's still going on. Very heavy rain in these areas. We can actually check on some of these rainfall rates to the west of Sandy there. And again, this is going to continue until 8 a.m. All right, Casey, do you have any extra updates for us, or are we still kind of tracking the same thing over on your end?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's kind of getting near the edge of the warned area, so we'll have to see if the National Weather Service ends up extending the area of this polygon to maybe include areas a little bit farther upstream. We have been kind of watching this now moving just north of 290, so I want to take another look in at the rotation to show you kind of exactly the areas that need to be on alert. I would say Johnson City, this is going to be likely missing you. So we're talking about this moving to the northeast. As far as the direction goes, it's going to be probably remaining to the northeast of you. But Sandy, this is going to be getting very close to your area. So Sandy, you definitely need to be in that particular, in the safe spot, interior room, and with no windows, because this area of rotation that we've been tracking, let me go ahead and delete this little arrow thing, continues to move in your general direction. Again, we have not had any confirmation of a tornado on the ground. Where you see in this live camera here, this is 290, so it would be just off to the north of 290 that we'd be looking at that rotation, possibly some of those clouds that are kind of pulled in that direction, and this is where it is on the map. There is high, there's the rotation high. You're currently now to the south of that. As that continues to pull away from you, you're going to start to see and feel those winds lighten up a little bit more. But Sandy, I would expect that you are going to really start to see things pick up here very soon. So let's go ahead and take another look at our active radar and our active tornado warning. Okay, it does look like the National Weather Service is now in fact extending the area and the time for this tornado warning. So you can see how they've extended the polygon. This now includes areas like Marble Falls. Heads up to you. This is going to be heading in your direction. This now includes northern portions of Blanco County as well, as we're still tracking this couplet, this velocity couplet that indicates rotation moving in that direction. We have seen it kind of remaining broad, but the National Weather Service certainly has found some evidence enough to extend this tornado warning. So let's go ahead and take another look at exactly where that area is. Again, it's broad. It's not incredibly tight right now, but we still have that couplet indicating rotation in this thunderstorm. We could see this cycle up. That's going to be a possibility, and really is with the lifetime of these thunderstorms, which is why they've likely extended this as it continues off to the north and east. Round Mountain, you are likely next as this continues to work its way towards your area. It's moving northeastward. You also need to be in that safe spot. And speaking of, I want to go ahead and take a closer look at that polygon to show you exactly where those areas that are now under the new warning are. So taking a closer look in, Round Mountain, you are also within this warned area. I'm going to go ahead and turn off radar for just a couple seconds here to kind of show you a closer look, an easier look at some of these towns. Marble Falls, there you are. There is now 71 there in the white, and then also we've got 281 that is currently in the path of this as well. Along with that, we've got Spicewood that's also within that polygon, or just to the outside of it. This is now going to be heading towards Burnet County, Horseshoe Bay. You are also within this new tornado warning that the time has now been extended towards 8:30. So we will continue to remain on until that expires. Again, the National Weather Service, if you're just tuning in, has issued a tornado warning that started all the way off in Gillespie County, at least for the eastern portions of Gillespie County is where we had this first tornado warning issued. We were following a storm that then pushed into Blanco County and now is on its way into northeastern Blanco County. And then again, we'll have the potential of pushing into Burnet County as it continues this northeasterly track. A look at the radar right now. I do want to bring you an update on that, as we still have, regardless of if you're with the area of where we're detecting rotation, we certainly have some heavy rain across the area. I mean, the purples here indicating some hefty rainfall totals at the moment, and rainfall rates, which certainly could be limiting visibility across the area. So if we go ahead and query that, rainfall rates around 3 inches per hour, and that's going to be another threat with some of these storms as we move forward, is the potential of seeing some localized flooding that has remained a threat with these storms for today. Hail tracker, let's go ahead and take another look at that. I know Grace was showing you that earlier on. Golf ball size hail. Let's take another look and see if we see any updates. It is producing still some pretty sizable hail for where this hail core is. This is just near Sandy. This is about to head in your direction. So heads up, you've got walnut size hail at least heading in that direction where the thunderstorm currently is. and is also this tornado warned storm. Round Mountain, heads up. This is also going to be heading in your general direction. Let's go ahead and actually put a new tracker on this if we can, just to go ahead and give you some rough timings and estimates of when we could be tracking the worst part of the storm moving through each particular city. So I want to get back to one of our radar loops here. Okay, so the worst part of the storm right now, we're tracking again. This is north of 290 currently. Let's draw a little cone. And Round Mountain, you're looking at this around 809. So we're talking about within about the next 10 to 15 minutes, give or take. Strongest part of the storm is going to be pushing through your area. Right now, it's producing walnut-sized hail. We also have some rotation, some radar indicated rotation, and also some very heavy rain and a whole lot of lightning. Let's go back over to the rotation signature, the velocities, our velocity product here. Still showing very broad rotation. Sandy, I'm sure you're seeing and feeling those winds picking up at the moment as we continue to see this move in that general direction. Sandy, again, this is heading right into your area where this couplet is. We have not had any evidence of a tornado on the ground, but it certainly will have a possibility of producing a tornado. It certainly has a possibility, I should say, which is why we have a tornado warning. So Sandy, you need to be in that safe spot. Interior room of your home, bottom level works best. Bathroom works really well as we have the extra plumbing to provide some extra support and structure. So again, Sandy, you're going to be in the wake of this as that continues to pass off to the northeast, and this tornado warning still continues through 8:30 this morning. This will be heading in the direction also of eventually areas like 281. Here is the 281 corridor. If you're in 281 near Round Rock, that's where we're going to start to see this eventually cross over. Also, again, we're talking about the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. So 281, you don't want to be on the roadways at this point in time. You've got heavy rain, and also it will be some gusty winds, the possibility of rotation, and also the possibility of hail, as we have been tracking at least walnut-sized hail. But this storm has already had a history of producing golf ball-sized hail. I'll look at the reflectivity product again. There it goes. There is the tornado warning extending into Burnet County. Burnet County, by the way, now starting to see some heavy rain push in. If you're in Marble Falls, you're now starting to see some rain spread into the area and just along that Burnet and Blanco County line there as this continues to track north and eastward. I want to zoom out and take a look at the rest of the map where there is a tornado warning. You can see in Gillespie County, Blanco County. We do have additional showers elsewhere across the area, so they have not been warned at all across the region yet. This is the only tornado warned storm that we've had, and it's only the only severe thunderstorm warning that we've had throughout the morning, at least so far. Most of the showers that we've had across the rest of the area have been just pretty friendly, just friendly rain. A lot of us have been dealing with some fog, some very low clouds, which actually may be helping things out as far as our instability goes. It could be providing a little bit of a cap on that, but we did happen to see this particular storm pop. It originated off in southern Gillespie County, severe thunderstorm warning, and then it continues to track off to the northeast, now currently moving through Blanco County with that tornado warning, and it's on its way into Burnet County. So again, the tornado warning, this one is the one that was old. As we zoom out here and take a look kind of at the other one, that's the one that goes through 8:30 and includes the Marble Falls area. Meteorologist Grace Thornton is going to have a little bit more on that. And also, I mean, you can see out on that live camera, Grace, that there's, regardless of if they're in that area rotation, there's a whole lot of rain out there.
Yes, a whole ton of rain out there. We actually do have just this minute ago an update from the National Weather Service. They're also, agreeing that circulation is not looking as organized. On our most recent scans, and does seem to be weakening a bit. But of course, we've seen things kind of cycle through over the past hour, or really 30 minutes to an hour or so. They're going to continue this warning as the potential for the storm to reorganize, like I just said, is still out there. This is going to continue to the north and east into Burnet and far southeast Llano County. So also that is something to be on the lookout for, that Llano County. You guys are also included in this new warning. So we can see this is extended all the way up towards Marble Falls. And I do want to look really quickly just to show you guys that all of Texas is really seeing quite active weather as we head into the day today. And we have another line of showers and thunderstorms actually making its way into Mason County right now. You can see it's just outside Mason County and also moving quite swiftly into that area. These storms, you know, this line here does have the potential for some spin on it as well. So we'll be watching that for any potential tornadic rotation there. Doesn't look like anything, you know, overtly concerning at the current moment. Again, we are mostly just going to be watching.
Tornado warning will expire at the top of the hour is what they're saying now.
Okay. Tornado watch or warning?
The initial tornado warning for the storm. So it's just the one that's being extended.
Okay, so we're at 7:59 right now, and that's going to continue only until 8:30, where it was already set to expire, and we're going to be continuing to watch that as it kind of shifts its way. You know, it's to the west of Round Mountain right now, and then shifting up towards that Marble Falls area. If you are in Marble Falls, I would certainly be getting in your safe space because you know, that heavy rain is moving into the region right now, and of course we are still watching that broad rotation just to the west there of Round Mountain, and that is moving on pretty quickly. Again, this storm is moving about 40 miles per hour, I believe, to the north and east. And again, we have the potential for hail in there. We've seen radar estimated rates of, you know, golf ball sized hail, and, you know, there's possibilities for flying debris. And then, you know, okay, so this is moving up towards 25 miles per hour. So actually has slowed down a little bit from earlier this morning. Again, southeastern areas of Llano County, northern Blanco County, and southwestern Burnet County are all going to be in this most current warning that was put out. So this will continue until that 8:30 time frame. So just a few more minutes here that will, you know, kind of keep it together, keep tracking this for you guys. Let's turn back on our velocity to see what we can see out there. So yes, if you are in Sandy, that area, certainly seeing very gusty winds at the moment, potentially moving pretty much right over you, where we're seeing the potential for some rotation. Again, there's been no confirmed tornado on the ground right now. So this is going to be shifting up from Sandy up towards the Round Mountain area. And then Cypress Mill was also kind of on our map as well. We did see some low visibilities reported from a viewer probably about 30 minutes ago when this rain started to move into the area. Again, and we are watching additional storms make their way into our area just to the west of this, out towards Mason County. You can see that there are tons of lightning coming in on these storms to the north of London. That's just outside of our viewing area, actually. Mason actually seeing a sizable downpour right now. Nothing severe going on out towards this region. But again, we want to, you know, just let you guys know that this is going to be multiple rounds of severe weather, or the potential for severe weather throughout the day today. Again, we're going to keep on air with you guys until this next tornado warning is expired. Yeah, so they're going to continue this until the top of the hour, and then keep that most recent one in effect. Just checking that there for you guys. So again, this goes until 8:30. Marble Falls, you guys are starting to see some very heavy rain out there. Smithwick, you are outside of this polygon. Spicewood, right on the edge of the polygon for our tornado warning. Again, going until 8:30 this morning. Very heavy rainfall rates that we already checked anywhere in the pink here, and the dark red could also be seeing the potential for hail too. Again, this is just to the west of Round Mountain. I do want to get a little bit further into this area if we can maybe get some of these names to populate. So we have Ranch Road 962 West. That area is in this polygon too. Needs to be getting into your safe spaces, or already in your safe spaces rather. And then we have East Railroad 962 over towards that Round Mountain area. That's the road that kind of goes perpendicular there to US 281. Again, lots of lightning strikes within this as well. We can actually count some of these. I can leave that up to Casey. It's not on our thing. But so Sandy, seeing lots of heavy rainfall move through the area. Again, we're watching this sort of inflow of very dry air just to the east of Sandy. That's where we're watching for some rotation. And of course, we have seen that already this morning. Still looking pretty broad at the current moment and becoming a bit more broad, I would say, as we kind of shift into the next couple of moments here, the next couple of scans. This is why the National Weather Service is saying that they're going to drop this warning, when it is set to expire around 8:30 this morning. So continuing into Round Mountain, that area is what we want to kind of hit home at the moment. Sandy, you guys dealing with some heavy rainfall at the moment as well. Not too many other populated areas out towards this region. We've got some ranch roads out there. And then again, this is also going to be shifting up towards the where 71 meets to 81. So those areas you do not want to be driving in. If you're living up towards Marble Falls, down towards Horseshoe Bay. Horseshoe Bay, you are within this polygon as well. Again, this tornado warning is continuing until 8:30 in the morning. So Horseshoe Bay Boulevard, St. Paul's Apostle Catholic Church, those areas, Kelly AFB recreation area. If you recognize any of those names, just make sure that you're in your safe space, and that is going to be the lowest, most interior room of your house. A place like a bathroom or a closet is a good place to get to. Again, if you have maybe a blanket you can put over your head, or if you just have a helmet handy, that is also a good thing. But thankfully, we are starting to see this weaken, and eventually this is going to drop off for us here in the next couple of minutes. We still have a little while to go. Over on the wall, Casey, are you seeing any updates or anything you want to kind of make people aware of as we kind of start to watch this or continue to watch this weekend around here?
Yeah, I mean, no updates from the National Weather Service with this just yet, just the latest information. Still this tornado warned storm that, as you can see, and as Grace explained, is currently moving into the Burnet County area. It's still in Blanco County. It's passing near Sandy at the moment. And again, the product that we like to look for and look at as far as a possible rotation is our velocity product. That's where you see the reds and the greens together, indicating this possible couplet. It's looking like a pretty muddled signature right now. We're not seeing any signs of very tight rotation, I will say, but they are continuing this tornado warning regardless. We have already seen this kind of cycle up and cycle down a little bit. Notice even with the latest scan, it looks perhaps a little bit stronger. You notice the oranges there indicating some stronger winds possibly within that rotation. So this is still just a radar indicated tornado warning. It still needs to be taken seriously. We have not had any evidence that it is on the ground, but if you are in this tornado warn area, Round Mountain, this is heading in your general direction. You need to be in that safe spot. If we throw in the debris tracker and see if we have seen any kind of drop in CC here, which is this product measure is, by the way, kind of the uniformity of what's in the air, those particles in the air. Red being rainfall droplets tend to be fairly uniform. When we see a drop in this, that's when we get the colors like the blues and whatnot behind me for possible debris. But this signature looks pretty muddled as far as any kind of really defined signature of having any kind of debris being lofted into the air. So again, we're really not seeing any kind of defined signature that this would tell us that this would be on the ground, but still need to be taking this very seriously. We do have this tornado warning, by the way, that does continue for about the next 24 minutes here, being 8:06. It continues through 8:30 this morning. So going back to exactly where this tornado warning is across the area, and you can see in the box behind me, this is a live look. I believe it still is. Are they still in Gillespie County? Okay, so they're heading towards Round Mountain. 281 North currently is where you're seeing that live camera being taken at the moment. And you can see rain. I mean, we're not seeing any, I saw some lightning flashes there, so there's certainly some lightning with that. If we were to see any kind of tornado, by the way, I mean, we've got a lot of rain. It would likely be rain wrapped, and we've got a whole lot of fog and low clouds, so visibility is going to be limited anyway, which is why this is going to be a scenario that, again, you need to take seriously, because even if we can't see anything on the ground, we haven't had anyway, by the way, confirmation that this is on the ground, it would be a little bit tough to see with just the way that things look out there right now, all the heavy rain and the fog that we've been tracking across the area as well. So here is our tornado warning. Again, they expired the one that was farther south, Gillespie County. You are now completely in the clear. Areas also Blanco County. I know you were under that earlier on, the eastern, or rather western portion that is. That has since expired. So you're in the clear. This is the storm that we're tracking now up through North Blanco County, and that's where we currently have our current tornado warning in effect. Putting on the little indication, the box rather on this that shows the info. Here it is with the red polygon. This is for Blanco County into Burnet County, and far southeastern Llano County is where we're seeing that kind of clip here through 8:30 this morning. So Horseshoe Bay, you are included within this polygon. Johnson City, you are not included in this polygon, so you're currently in the clear. This continues to steer just off to the north of you. Horseshoe Bay, however, you are still in this tornado warning. You do need to be in your safe spot, away from windows, interior room. If we were to kind of figure out exactly where the area of the storm that would be capable of producing a tornado would be, that's where we throw in the velocity product, and again the rotation being indicated right now just off to the south and west of Round Rock. So it's about in just north of Sandy is where we would track if this were to produce a tornado. It would be in this kind of general area here, heading to the north and east. So Round Mountain rather this will be passing very close to your area, which is why you need to be in that safe zone. And then eventually it'll cross very close to, likely kind of make an intersection with the 281 corridor. So those, you should not be on the road if you're, whoops, there goes the arrows again. You should not be on the road if you are kind of on that northern portion of 281. You need to steer clear if you're if you're on 281 near Round Mountain. You need to be heading into a shelter, because again, this is going to be crossing, likely making an intersection here with 281 and up just in between Round Mountain, very close to Round Mountain, and just south of Horseshoe Bay is where we'll be tracking this kind of main area of the rotating thunderstorm. Will be passing on through. And then eventually, as we look kind of downstream here towards areas like Smithwick, we also have, this looks like
from the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center are collaborating right now, and they say that they are going to issue, actually, instead of a severe thunderstorm watch, they're going to issue a tornado watch, actually upgrading the risk for tornadoes here for just those eastern counties that are under, I believe, our severe thunderstorm watch already. So it may be just kind of inching into that I-35 corridor area. They just said eastern counties, so that should be coming up here in the next couple minutes. They should have that out shortly, and we can get a look at that map.
Yeah, thanks, Grace. Yeah, and I mean, that was a potential through this morning. We had a severe thunderstorm, or rather, the severe thunderstorm watch across the hill country in the I-35 corridor. So it does look like they will be issuing a tornado watch eventually, as well, as we have the ingredients present. Certainly for rotating thunderstorms. We've already been tracking that through this morning's storms. This is where the storm is located that is currently tornado warned. So this is just north of Johnson City. It's now beginning to get close to at least the strongest part of the storm, that Blanco County, Llano County line there, and kind of where it intersects with Burnet County. So that's where we have some strong winds. If we put on the hail tracker here, kind of getting an updated look at that. We do have some hail from this. We've got rotation. We've also have some pretty strong updrafts. It's bringing that air in and then traveling far up into the atmosphere, which is why we get some of these larger areas of hail. Right now, it's walnut-sized hail is what the radar is currently estimating, and that is heading towards the Round Mountain area. So heads up there. It's going to be just likely to the north of you in Marble Falls. You're likely next as this continues that track off to the north and east. So Marble Falls, as we time this out, we can figure out kind of a rough timing for you. Marble Falls area, we're talking about around 827. We're talking about hail. You're already seeing heavy rain, but certainly hail. The core of this thunderstorm will be passing over your area with that potential of, with the rotation and the capability of producing a tornado, though we have not seen any evidence of this on the ground. It is just a tornado warned storm due to our radar signature that we're seeing. No evidence of it on the ground, but that is going to be heading in your direction here in about the next 15 minutes. So you also need to be in your safe spot right now to Marble Falls. You are also under this tornado warning at the moment. Taking another look at where exactly the reflectivity is at the moment, it continues to again move north and east. Let's go ahead and get a closer look. Okay, there it is. If we go actually over to the other radar now, picking it up at the moment. Again, it's a fairly muddled. It's not a very strong signature, but still showing the reds and the greens together at the moment. And remember, this radar, it is traveling fairly far up into the atmosphere. So while it could be detecting that rotation aloft, we don't always get it translating towards the ground, but that's what we watch for, is the potential for that to eventually happen, which is why we get these tornado warnings issued. So if you are just tuning in to regular programming, you're missing out on your show here. This is the reason why. We do have a tornado warning that is still ongoing as we've been tracking this storm now for about the past little over an hour now. That's been producing hail. It's been producing some very heavy rain and lightning. It's now heading into Horseshoe Bay, and it does have the potential of producing a tornado. We've been tracking rotation through this morning. Looks like they also just now issued a tornado watch for the area. So this is going to be something that we will have to watch out for.
I've got that up on Max 3.
Which Grace has a look at. There it is.
Yeah, here's our tornado watch. This goes until 4 p.m. this evening. Again, while we're tracking this one tornado warning, heading up towards Burnet County right now, there is another line of storms coming in behind this that may, have some instability and some rotation associated with them as we head through the rest of today. Again, this is going to continue until 4 p.m. This tornado watch pretty much covers all of central Texas, besides Mason County, who's actually dealing with those storms right now. And of course, we're dealing with our tornado warning too, going from Blanco up to Burnet County right now. So we'll get back to that. But again, just wanted to give you guys that extra update. Again, lasts until 4 p.m. as we head through the rest of our Tuesday here.
Yeah, great information. Yeah, so I mean, we have had that potential. We've been tracking it for the past day or so. We knew this is going to be a possibility today, and which is why they're now issuing that tornado watch. As all the storms that we'll be tracking through the day today will have the potential of rotation. I did want to take a zoomed in look to show you kind of in reference the storm that is warned, and then the additional storms that are now beginning to push into areas like Mason County right now. We're seeing this line of thunderstorms moving through, producing some pretty heavy rain at the moment, likely some pretty gusty winds. We don't have any kind of rotation with this just yet, so we will continue to keep an eye on it. So no tornado warnings in this particular line, but it likely will be packing a punch here as we head into the next couple hours, and this will eventually be working its way eastward. This is our particular tornado warned storm, currently moving from Blanco County into Burnet County at the moment. This is where we have had that radar signature indicating toward rotation, and also have been tracking some hail. So heads up to Burnet County. This is now entering into your area. Gillespie County, you're now in the clear. Most of Blanco County now in the clear. Notice, here's an update from the National Weather Service. They've actually just shrunk the area of this polygon a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and read to see what they are saying, the National Weather Service, about some of the update here. It still goes through 8:30. This morning, and it is for, again, there's just that little kind of intersection of exactly where Blanco, Llano, and Burnet counties intersect with their borders. So Horseshoe Bay right now, Round Mountain seeing the strongest part of the storm at the moment, and Marble Falls, you are next for the strong storm that's going to be working its way in your direction. Heavy rain, hail. We've been tracking marble-size hail, or rather, I should say walnut-size hail, over about the past half hour as this storm continues to move north and eastward. And we have been tracking what's just generally been fairly broad rotation. Let's go ahead and see if anything has kind of changed here with the rotation for this particular storm that we continue to keep a close watch on. So it's again Marble Falls out towards Round Mountain is where we've been tracking what should be kind of the area around Mountain. That's kind of where we have that signature where you can see the pinks, the oranges, coupled with, I'm going to move this up a little bit so you can see it a little bit more above the banner. Greens, the pinks, the oranges, that's where if we were to have a tornado kind of touch down, it would be near the Round Mountain area. So moving northeast, Spicewood, you're also going to have to watch this pretty closely. This is moving right along that 281 corridor. So those areas, you should not be on the road right now, not only just because of the rotation and the tornado warning, we also have some very heavy rain at the moment. And speaking of the roadways, here we go with a live look out there at the moment. It still just looks like cloudy, looks very wet, and possibly could be pretty slick in spots right now. You know, we've had limited visibility through this morning as far as the fog has gone. So if we were to see anything kind of drop down, it'd be likely rain wrapped and a little bit tough to see, but good to see that we are not kind of looking at any indication or any kind of wall cloud, at least development in that particular shot. Do we know where that was from that particular camera? Do we have any more updates from Aaliyah? Okay, so that's traveling. So this road that you see right now is traveling along 281 right now. So that's about where we have some of the kind of indication of some of the strongest winds, a possible broad rotation there where we are tracking this thunderstorm. Malia, how's it been kind of driving out there as far as the rain has gone? Has it been just tough driving conditions? Have you seen a lot of people out on the roads?
Yeah, it's been a mix of rain coming super strong and then pulling off in certain areas. So it's definitely patches where it gets very intense. We're going through a more intense patch right now. As you can probably hear, it's pretty loud, and you can see the windshield is going very fast right now. Windshield wipers, a lot of water on the road here too. And just the dark skies is what we're noticing out here. We kind of go through areas where we get in these very dark, cloudy areas where it looks almost nighttime. If you can see that. And now we're kind of coming out of it a little bit more clear skies, but definitely the roads are wet out here, very slick and dark. That's how I would describe what we're driving through right now.
Okay, so this is 281 that Malia was reporting from, and again, a lot of heavy rain out there, very slick conditions, and as she described, it looks almost like it's close to kind of dusk with how dark it is from some of those clouds as we continue to track this tornado-warned storm that is now just beginning to exit now northern Blanco County. So we've got this moving into areas of Burnet County. This is where it currently is. This is the tornado-warned box here, and it's heading in this general direction. So in Marble Falls, you're here. This is 281 where Malia was just driving, all that very, very heavy rain. And we could also be tracking some hail. Grace, are there any kind of updates that you've been seeing or any kind of notes you want to add to this particular storm?
Yeah, so not for this storm, but we actually do have another update from the National Weather Service for storms closer to the San Antonio area, just to the west of San Antonio. They're going to issue a special weather statement for a storm coming into Edwards County near the Rock Springs area. So that's west of San Antonio. Again, that's part of that larger line of storms, I believe, that's actually moving or to the west of this current storm right now that we're tracking our tornado warning on. So that is going to be down towards this area as we extend kind of towards Del Rio. Of course, you know, to the west of us, out towards Mason County, west of Mason County right now, we have a long line of thunderstorms with a lot of lightning associated with it, which will certainly, dip visibilities down as it starts to move into our region here in the next couple of hours. Again, now this line is what is associated with our tornado watch that has now been put into effect until 4 p.m. this afternoon. Again, we did have just a severe thunderstorm watch in place, and they dropped that, canceled that. Now we've upgraded to a tornado watch due to the fact that, we are seeing potential for tornadic activity right at this very moment. We still have this tornado warning continuing up towards the Marble Falls area, and certainly seeing a lot of heavy rainfall associated with that. This is now kind of shifting north and then east also of the Round Mountain area. Still seeing some heavy rain there towards Round Mountain, but starting to inch up towards the Marble Falls region. That is where we're seeing the heaviest rainfall right now, as well as a ton of lightning. This also includes Horseshoe Bay. So Horseshoe Bay, Marble Falls, Granite Shoals, you guys are right outside of this polygon, but I would be staying in your safe spaces, of course. So really at the intersection of 281 and 71, you know, that's pretty popular place to be kind of headed out on the roads early on this morning. You want to be staying in your safe place. Again, interior rooms of your house, lowest rooms of your house if you can. Again, heavy rainfall, the potential for hail is going to be out there too, and we'll take another check on our potential for hail out there. So right now we're seeing these dark blue areas, and we do have some extra stuff coming up, things you need to know. Okay, so these are our tornado tips for you. Closet, bathroom, these are all places you need to be getting to if you are within this tornado warning. Again, this extends until 8:30 this morning, and then they're going to drop this down, it looks like. So we still have about 7 minutes to go here. So again, be shielding your head. If you got a blanket or a helmet, something that you can cover your head with is a really good idea. Again, Marble Falls all the way down to that intersection of 281 and 71, Round Mountain as well, still included in this tornado warning. And of course, we are seeing the potential for some large hail within this storm as well. So we'll take a check on that. With this kind of darker blue, we can see golf ball sized hail there. And we have also seen radar reports of walnut sized as well as pea sized hail. And that extends all the way up towards that 71 area. So the potential for hail kind of south of 71 right now, in kind of that south and east sector between 281 and 71 right now. Again, this is just something you need to be in your safe space, keeping yourself, you know, prepared and, you know, well informed on this storm. And I hope you guys are kind of watching us on our app or on KView Plus. Those are kind of the easiest ways to get to us if you can't be watching your television in the living room right now. So Marble Falls seeing a lot of heavy rain. I'll take a check on some of these rainfall rates just outside. 8 inches per hour, 6 inches per hour. So it is coming down out there. Visibilities are pretty much going to be zero anyway if you wanted to head out and about right now, but that is not something that we are, you know, going to advise, because this is still going to continue for another, you know, 5-6 minutes or so. Again, Marble Falls, an area you need to be in your safe space, and then Round Mountain also in this area. They're going to start to expire. This is why they have issued another severe thunderstorm warning. Now they're going to drop off this current tornado warning coming up at 8:30, and then we're going to continue to watch this strong storm as it shifts up towards Briggs and Gerald eventually. That'll be in a little while's time. But again, that severe thunderstorm warning is going to continue.
You testified yesterday that...
Let's gonna check on the timeline for that. So the severe thunderstorm warning continues until 9:15 for this morning. And again, that extends up towards the Leander area. This is where this storm is moving up towards that Marble Falls, or continuing past Marble Falls there, and shifting into those south corners of Burnet County. Probably going to scoot just past Burnet there, and then head up towards the Gerald, Leander area eventually here in the next hour or so. Again, that severe thunderstorm warning, that's going to continue until 9:15 a.m. But when we hit 8:30 here, we are going to hop off air and kind of reassess things here in the studio, make sure that we are also looking at this larger storm coming in from the Mason County area right now, because we do have, again, multiple rounds of potential severe weather as we head into our Tuesday today. And again, our severe thunderstorm watch was upgraded to a tornado watch until about 4 p.m. You got any updates over there?
So I am getting word that the Marble Falls ISD campus all is sheltering in place at the moment, which is a good advice with this strong storm. We also have had footage now. This is Malia is currently on high Highway 71, this is traveling towards Horseshoe Bay, I believe. And look at those skies, very, very dark. And Grace, as you mentioned, we're talking about rainfall rates in some of those areas, 6 to 7, even 8 inches per hour. So some very, very heavy rain. Malia, what are you seeing? Has it gotten tougher to drive as you're kind of heading west along Highway 71?
It's super dark out here, guys, and the rain is still coming down very strong. You can obviously see what it looks like out here in front of us. Super stormy. We went over to the west, and now we're coming back to the east over towards like Marble Falls, in between Horseshoe Bay and Marble Falls area, and where you can just see it's very just cloudy out here. The rain, like I said, it goes in patches. There will be some areas we drive through and you can't see anything ahead of you, and then some it's more sprinkles, a little bit lighter, like right now, just a little bit. But it just goes in and out, so it just depends exactly where you are. So you just want to be careful all around. If you're driving, you should be at home. It should be, yeah, just stay in place, stay where you are. All the advice that y'all have been giving to everyone has been great. I'll send it back to y'all over there.
Can I ask one more question? Have you run into any hail? Any kind of how has the wind felt kind of driving around? Do you feel like it's knocking you around a little bit, or has it just been kind of mainly heavy rain?
Yeah, it feels a little windy. Obviously, we're not outside, so I can't feel exactly, but it does definitely feel windy. We haven't seen hail. I did hear loud rain that I thought it might have been hail, but definitely just rain right here. So we'll be checking to see if we see any hail. We're keeping an eye out for sure on that, but haven't seen any as of this moment right now.
Okay, thank you, Malia. Yeah, stay safe out there on those roads. And from the National Weather Service, they are reporting that they're agreeing that the circulation it's very disorganized. They're starting to see that hail core develop. So as Grace mentioned, this tornado warning that you currently see behind me, it is going to be transitioning down into a severe thunderstorm warning. As if we take a look at the rotation, in fact, let's see how disorganized it looks. Still a lot of lightning with this, but yeah, we're just not seeing much. That signature just doesn't look as impressive as it did just about even a half hour ago. You can kind of still make out the remnants of where we're seeing the rotation. Here's Spicewood just beginning to now enter into Burnet County. There is Marble Falls. But again, it's now going to transition into this severe thunderstorm warning. It is now 8:29. We have 1 minute left of this tornado warning. As we continue to watch this expire, this is still going to be an issue when it comes to some heavy rain across that area entering into Burnet County and Marble Falls right now. And speaking of that severe thunderstorm warning, that again is issued now kind of downstream from this thunderstorm, as they're now going to transition away from the tornado warning. That goes through at 9:15 this morning. So we're still talking about another 45 minutes of some pretty rough weather out through Marble Falls. Also areas like Leander extending all the way out towards Florence there, as it continues to extend from the far eastern part of Burnet County all the way, or rather the far western part of Burnet County all the way to the far eastern part of Burnet County. And notice that yellow polygon also including areas like northern Williamson County all the way out towards Jarrell. So there it goes, the tornado warning. It has since expired across the area. We are going to continue to keep on our threat for thunderstorms today, specifically our threat for these severe storms, and we will cut in as needed, but we are going to be heading back to regular programming.